that I know that goes like this. Yo-ho-yay, 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 and keeps going on like that, and then goes ooh, ah, yay.
That's it.
And
everybody knows that.
yeah.
One. So that's going to be good. But that one, there we know all that song.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to come in, you'd all have to stand outside right here, see? If you're going to come in, all come in this way and dance. That's a long ways to dance. Huh?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Right, that was a problem. The Sealaska Heritage Foundation is a non-profit corporation. We are called the Sealaska Heritage Foundation. A lot of times people might get confused and think that the Sealaska Heritage Foundation is a subsidiary of Sealaska Corporation. It is not. It is a private or a separate entity organized under the state laws of Alaska. So we have our own separate board. In preparing for Celebration 82, we went back to the elders in establishing a traditional advisory council, which basically was formerly known as the Sealaska Elder Steering Committee. And they planned this event to encourage the individual clans, the individuals within the clan structure, both at the Eagle and Raven tribe for the Tlingit Nation, as well as the Haida and Tsimshian people, to have a spirit of unity in preserving our culture as a people, as Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian people. Additionally, some of the desires of the elders are like to have the voices of our ancestors to ring across the land of the Tlingit Ani, of the Dekina Ani, or the Tsutskan Ani, Dekina being Haida and Tsutskan being Tsimshian. They want to have a very, very positive action to take place, so that as we begin our journey in preserving and promoting and encouraging our language, our history, our traditions and customs, that it's done in such a fashion where we're all of one mind, of a positive mind, to preserve our culture as a people. So it's a celebration.
We are bringing down our oldest citizen, who is Maggie John. She finally decided to take Susie Abraham's place. So she's crippled. She'll probably be in a wheelchair. But she would like to tell some of the history of their group. They're the group that migrated down to Yakutat from Copper River, you know.
After the introductions, we'll have 2.5 days in which the storytelling will go on, and it is a necessary part of our ceremony, because that's what we're here for.
I'll introduce them, and if they want to handle it and say what they want, their history and things, I think will be very fine. So whatever we plan, I think we should know in advance just how we can do this very, very well. This is the first time this type of a program has been planned. Usually the custom is that, let's say, the eagles are the host and hostess, and so all the ravens would be guests of honor. But in this situation, we're having the ravens and the eagles as guests of honor for this occasion, and this is one reason it's called Celebration 82. It's not potlatch, but there will be much Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian ceremonials in it.
Probably good for us to be out here. Yeah, both the Tsimshian group and the Haida group are really interested, by the way, Paul, in finding a place to practice. They need some place to practice, either the A&B Hall or even the community center if it's available this afternoon. I don't know what kind of, how it would crimp your efforts in, you know, organizing the chairs and so forth and so on. But those two groups do want to have a place to practice. And for your information, tonight at 6 o'clock, there's going to be a gathering of all the invited guests to begin kind of a rehearsal for what's going to take place tomorrow.
We might have 2 flights between 11:30 and 12:30.
And this is out at the airport?
And this is from Huna.
And the Mount St. Elias dancers are coming in at what time?
6:45, yeah.
6:45 this evening.
It's 5:20, I'm sorry, they changed the schedule.
Oh,
What's 5:20?
The arrival of the Yakutat flight.
the one that
Great,
falls in.
great, that falls in, yeah, that's
that'd
funny
be
about it.
Hello, Juno! Hi.
Tonight, 6 o'clock, between 6 and 7, we'll have to be at the Haida building. Some of the people are going to practice. This is must be kind of a river or creek there, is it?
All right, folks, here we are in Juneau. We're glad to be in Juneau. So happy.
Gonna give some
Even
up
if
here.
it's-
Over here on the left is the community center. That's where the gathering is.
Oh,
going to be held there.
Right, see that big brown building right over here?
Oh.
About 3.5 miles out of town.
Right now, we came here for coming in song that we're going to use. It's going to be just like a coming in song. We should be on this side and march it in. This is how we're going to walk. So we have to practice. That's why we're here tonight. Shall we get together now?
And now we will have the welcoming address by
Byron I. Malat, who comes from the Yakutat area. He's very much interested in the culture of his people. And on several occasions, as I sat with the board, once in a while I'd give him a little briefing on Tlingit culture. And Byron is learning the Tlingit words, but right now he's come to the word qauk, and he's having a rough time to say qauk. He always say qauk. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you Byron Malat, Chairman of Sealaska Corporation.
These 3 days, for those of us who are not elders, and for those of us who do not speak nor understand as fully as we might our culture, our heritage, will likely be one of the 3 most significant days of our lives. I believe that if anything of meaning comes from this gathering, it will be that we will learn how much we need you. Among the 16,000 shareholders of Sealaska, just hardly 1,000 are over the age of 60. Without you, we will not survive. As a people, we will not survive. In our culture, there was no individual. And in order for us to survive as a people, what exists still in our culture and our heritage must be transmitted to the young so that we live together rather than as individuals, lonely without guidance. But I know in my heart, and I know that all of those who serve in Sealaska know that the real power, that the real source of inspiration, that the real guidance, that what is really important resides among our elders. And we are here to learn, and we will do it humbly. Thank you very much.
Judson Brown, Chairman of Sealaska Heritage Foundation, of the Eagle Tribe and the Killer Whale Clan, will now give you a few remarks.
Thank you, Walter. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Tsimshian Nation, the Haida Nation, and the Tlingit Nation, it is indeed a privilege and a pleasure that we are all gathered here today to honor the past, to honor the coming generations as well. In the opening remarks, Byron said, "Thank you to the elders." And we elders in turn say to Byron, "Thank you very much, you and the board of directors, for the wonderful support that we have received from you in getting the Sealaska Heritage Foundation and other organizations which have sprung from the Sealaska Corporation in the past few years. I think the formation of the Sealaska Heritage Foundation is one of the most outstanding achievements that the corporation has undertaken so far this year and last year. You must recall that the Heritage Foundation is only about a year old. Imagine that for the first time ever in our longhouse, we have the 3 nations under one roof. I believe this is one of the most historic occasions for our 3 designated tribes. And as we reach out for traditional values to come from you, the elders who hold the past and our tradition in so many special ways, we are certainly thankful to all of you.
Years and years ago, there was no Haines as we know it today, Haines. It was Deshu, the end of the road. Probably the end of the road for the people who came down from the interior of Alaska. And so it was literally the end of the road for them. And that was the name, the traditional name of Haines today, Deshu.
like to say the word, it's a lot of ways it's hard to understand and not think it the way we are feeling. Right now, my feeling is when I come over here to show to our grandchildren, to our sons, our daughters, what we have, what we do, what they teach us before. My grandfather teach me how I didn't go to school. All I know in our Tlingit way. So this time I like to tell you this, we come over here to teach every one of them who are here, who are growing, who are behind us, so they could learn. Right now, let them see our love from us, like the sun comes through the window. Let them shine to them.
From what I understood in talking with one of the representatives from Heidelberg, there's going to be approximately 30 Haidas who will be participating during the 3-day event. And from the 30, there are 3 individual groups. One group from Masset, I guess, BC, the other group from Heidelberg, and the other group from Ketchikan.
Alex, honorary eagle. He'll swarm for his clan.
As my cousin Sylvester said earlier, we are very greatly honored to be here to perform before you, thanking the organization for extending their invitation to us. We thought for a while that we weren't going to make it, but now we are here. We struggled to get here, same as our forefathers did before. Long time ago. The time has changed. I'm only doing what my grandfather has done. I am trying to create all cultural work because my grandfather has been here on canoe with people, visiting your forefathers, made exchanges, traded with beads, with furs, and we traded with seaweed, halibut, what you name it, you drive, and we traded with that. And they had the canoes, they traded some of the canoes, and they traded some of the argillite, which you see in the museum right uptown here. Some of my grandfather's work is there. And I'm only trying to keep our culture going by doing, and I'm picking up his footsteps that he left behind. I want to keep those footsteps moving.
Today, we feel that our most valuable resource that we have in our possession is our young people, the little babies, and this is a lullaby song.
Ja, katan. Ja, that is Sealaska Heritage Foundation. I just got to go out of here. Ja, koya kaya ja hinja ko Teslawangun Jinkewani.
We're going to sing a couple of love songs next. When it comes to your part, if you're Shangukedi Yadi, we want you to get up so that we could see you, and we want you to dance with us at the time when we start. And this first song is a song that was composed by Tom Jimmy's brother. His name slips me right at the present time. It's a song that both Ida Kadashan and myself claim We both selected this when we dedicated our Thunderbird house, our Hautliai hit, and our Shiste hit. We inherited it in Tlakwan during our ceremonial dedication of our tribal house. So the other part, since I chose the song also, I sang it over toward the Chukanedi Yadi. So if there's any Chukanedi Yadi here, we want you to go ahead and join us. But first we'll sing Chukanedi Yadi first. Special request. Okay. This is the fast one. Hey yo, I love you, hey yo. My grandfather used to tell me there would come a day like this. I didn't think it would be a day like this. It's a day like this, all right? And it's really fun. You know, the group that came here before us, the little children that danced and sang in their language, that's what the Heritage Foundation wants to encourage. At the same token, the love that we have for one another, the respect, the dignity, the upholding of one another in time of trouble, in time of bereavement. At the same time, holding up one another just to encourage each other as we go through this land. Never in the time of history has the Tsimshian people and the Haida people, as well as the Tlingit Haida, the Tlingit people, gathered together in one place to work together in preserving our cultures.
And we came upon this land of my grandparents, Chutznoa. And here they made this hat. Our leaders. This hat's name is Yanchun. And this is how you will know it. Yes. Our grandson is always someone we hold in high esteem. And he is here today. And he has put on this hat, and he will perform before you. This is how it will be. Let me speak before I enter here. I would like you to know about this hat. The owner. I did not know while I was a child how this would go, but this hat was willed to me while I was a little child. And when I left Angoon, and I handed it over to my grandfather. I just did not let it wish to be hid or to be lost. Thank you, grandson, for your speech.
I'd also like to thank Ed Sullivan here for
Ed Sullivan. It was the decision of the planning committee to follow the traditional pattern of ceremonial occasions, and so I feel greatly honored that they selected me to have this role of being what they call a Nakani. I happen to belong to the Raven tribe and the Dog Salmon clan, and so I would be the go-between for the Eagle tribe. And so in this situation, they're following the traditional pattern of having the Nakani. The literal name of Nakani, translated, is the clan or the tribe's brother-in-law. So I'm the brother-in-law of the Eagle tribe, the Eagle nation. And thus there is also Patrick Paul, who will be the Nakani for the Raven tribe, or the Raven nation. So we have an eagle and a raven for the go-between individuals in this program, and that's traditional.
For 75 years, my grandmother has waited for this song and dance. And in the 17 years that she's been teaching me the medicines to heal the body and the power of the mind, to restore your thought pattern and energy, she's encouraged me to be brave. And now I know why.
The heart of our message was that we always are a friendly people. We lived in God's word, and she wanted you to smile, pray for what could help us, and let's not forget about God. She gave a history of the general Yakutat area, and of course their main symbol of that area is Mount St. Elias. And she related how this mountain became theirs. They were led there by a party named Yashkane. This person led them to Mount St. Elias. And she mentioned something about La Perouse, the French explorer who discovered La Perouse Bay, and how time before many of people in the area were drowned through an accident. And then she came upon a very timely one, subsistence, over which the Congress is wrestling and the state of Alaska is wrestling, subsistence. And she said, Abraham Lincoln said, "Do not take away the subsistence rights of our people." Thank you very much, Maggie. You're up to date. And now we will have our good friends, our neighbors, part of our family from the Yukon area do for us their dance. It's our dance too.
In my olden days, I was taught from my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother that we are related from the coast native people, Tlingit. Only we had names for that, Dakka Tlingit or Dakka Gunana. Gunana means different nation. There's nothing discrimination about that. I'm proud to be a Gunana. And so the salt water people, we call it Kakon Gunana. It's all a different nation. When we used to meet one another from the inland down here, they used to come down and say in a happy way, hey, hey, ha, 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 hey, hey, ha, ha, hey, hey, ha, 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 hey, hey, ha, ha, hey, hey, ha, ha, ha. That's how we used to meet one another in the Coast Range from the inland, to show our sympathy that we have goodwill towards our people in Alaska. And it'll be very, very long history when I get back to my country and tell my younger generation and the older people what we are learning from my coast brothers, uncles, sisters, and my relatives. I have relatives right here in Alaska. And my name is the crow, of course. No, frog is Koch. I guess you people know what this Koch means. Lazy old frog. Thank you very much, my dear friends.
It'll also serve as giving probably far better notice to the general public at large about ourselves as a people. In addition to that, it will send a message to our present generation of Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian people that we can preserve our culture, we can preserve our language, and still be successful in today's society, and we can contribute to today's society as opposed to just taking from it, from this society. We want to be a contributing factor in what happens in Alaska.
You know, we've told you that the Tsimshians are all over the country here. Some of them are, a lot of them are as far as Florida, 48 states, Canada, Alaska, everywhere. The Tsimshians can multiply so fast, we have to have a love song for you to listen to. So at this time, we'll have a story where the girl is going to Fort Simpson was the original name, Fort Simpson. And she is wondering if her lover will be there, and we're going to sing the song. That's the story of the love song. between the acts here, we have a short little dance here showing the Wisquash. Wisquash is the blue jay. The blue jay dance emphasizes the appetite of the blue jay for wild cranberries. That's why the height is called the Sealaska, the people with the beautiful voices. Now the next presentation we have, outstanding in the memory of the Sealaska, is the first boat that came from Boston all the way around Cape Horn, all the way around to see Malakala. The Boston boat, Boston is the name of it, Sealaska. Boston, boat from Boston.
This program was funded by Sealaska Corporation and the Sealaska Heritage Foundation.